You watching these Rangers?
Hi everybody, this is Mark Messier, and you're listening to Blueshirt Underground Show, the #1 Rangers podcast. Make sure you tune in and find out all the latest news. Let's go Rangers!
Blueshirt Underground, motherfucker!
An unlawful gathering. This is an unlawful gathering. The truth is out there. The truth is out there.
This is the underground. This is new media. This is the underground. This is new media.
Ranger fans, remember what's the critical thinking hangar. Ranger fans, remember what's the critical thinking hangar.
And now here is the starting lineup for the New York Rangers. And now here is the starting lineup for the New York Rangers.
This is New York Rangers hockey. 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 This is New York.
Good evening, Blueshirt Undergrounders. This is your Game 5 wrap-up. Today is Thursday. It is May the 12th. And obviously, since we are here just with you, that means the Rangers are still alive. You know who I am. You know who the man on the window next to me is. Good evening, Eddie. How are you, sir?
Doing good, man. Rangers win. I'm all excited. I'm all happy, and I'm also very angry. Thank you.
He's very angry. He was venting to me before we went on the show. He's got a lot of problems with you people.
Oh, boy. Some people just got to stop. Just flat out put the brakes on and stop. But Rangers win. Big-time victory. Who would have thunk it? And it looked like it started off, but it didn't start off so good.
Nope, not at all. It certainly looked halfway through that game like Willie Nelson was warming up, I'll tell you that. He was pacing in my backyard with his guitar and his weed and his ponytail. And then the Rangers made it 2-1. I said, nah, not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
That's right.
Simmer down, old man.
Yep. He was out there digging the grave. Rangers were heading towards it, and
right.
So that's the scoop with that. But we avoided Willie Nelson. We avoided the Grim Reaper, not Stu Grimson, but the real Grim Reaper of the playoffs, and it was all due to the great coaching of our coach, right, Jim?
No,
really,
no. Come on, did they look any? You know, I'll start with the first half of the game. I was very upset with how they came out last night. It was very reminiscent of that loss to the Lightning.
Yep.
It was just, where was the fire? Where was the sense of embarrassment? Where was the leave it all on the ice mentality? I mean, that team, they were just cruising up and down the ice like they were on a Sunday skate at Rockefeller Center. Might as well just put a tree at one end of the ice and Harry Connick singing them off. I mean, there was nothing to their game. There was nothing going on.
Maybe it was that bag skate practice that got him out to a good quick start.
Oh,
that dummy, Uncle Festa. What is he watching? Movies to coach now? He's watching Miracle on Ice. He's got a really Herb Brooks. Stupid move. Let's punish the team. That'll get him up.
Steve Valiquette talked about it, and Hank talked about it, said they had never heard of a team skating gassers in between playoff games, and call them gassers, call them dead skates, whatever, bag skates. I know Ted Sater, when he was with the Rangers, he used to call them dead skates. He was famous for those too, as was Herb Brooks. Right. Again, blow the whistle. Send them again. Right. The whole bit. And Valaket, and what Valaket says, I don't take much credence in, but then Hank said he's never seen a team do it. And Valaket said, with gallant statements after the game and on Wednesday to the media about them being soft, and he kind of humiliated his team a little bit, and I think it had the opposite effect.
Well, they already played like a triple overtime game. They're not tired already. He's putting bags on their skates. What a dummy.
And I'm sorry, but for the first half of that game, they looked absolutely no different than they did the first 5 games or 4 games. 5, whatever it was, 4 games. They looked no different. There was nothing going on. They weren't creating any offense. Only the third line was playing well. Yeah, they were playing a little better defensively. Nothing special. But there was no sense of urgency, to use the term that everybody likes to use in sports. There was absolutely no sense of urgency.
This is a must game, and they come out and nothing. It's pathetic. It's a pathetic performance. First of all, the refs with that ridiculous double minor at the start of the game. Whoever seen that?
24 seconds into the first period, and the refs call a 5-on-3. And by the way, I don't care how many video clips there are of him on YouTube. Wes McCauley is one of the worst referees in the NHL. One of the worst. Overrated. All because it's because of his fancy, funny calls. He's terrible. He's a terrible referee. And that's saying something in this league. Terrible referee. Terrible, Mikey. He's terrible. He's terrible.
Speaking of Mad Dog, now I know you hate this guy. By default, I think most people hate this guy. The Stephen A. Smith guy.
I don't listen to him enough to hate him. I don't pay much attention to him.
Right, because he doesn't cover anything we care about.
Right.
Well, and I'm just going to make this Pierre shampoo. I remember that.
And most of what comes out of his mouth is racial, and I can't relate. So,
right. And he's, I mean, forgive me for saying this, but it's almost like a minstrel show when he's talking, because it's like he's so animated, and it's like he's almost he's playing a character.
Right.
But the only good thing on this first take is now they have Mad Dog across from him.
Right, and they go at it, right? I've heard some things.
And I don't even know what the subjects they're talking about, but I'm rooting for Mad Dog all the time.
Right.
And, just how he said, and he goes at him. I like it. All right, enough of that. Now, what was I said? I got thrown with the Mad Dog thing. Yeah. I mean, where do I begin? I mean, this coach has nothing. He has nothing.
Didn't you expect them to come? I mean, home ice, backs to the wall. Didn't you expect them to come out with, some fire flying up? I mean, at least something that looked like game one, what we saw in that first period. I mean, even if you want to pace yourself a little bit, I just thought, somebody would send a message early in this game. Nothing.
What the hell is Ryan Reeves on this team for?
Nothing. He's there to yell.
Somebody explain to me why he's on the team.
He's there to yell. It's all antics. It's all antics with this guy. It's just I know that he's been an effective player during his career. I don't see a whole hell of a lot of it. I know. I mean, the guy hasn't been in a league for as long as he has without being effective at what he does or did. But now he just releases us. Yeah. Now he just yells. Oh, look at Ryan Reeves calling out the forwards in the locker room.
Revo. Get that.
Okay.
So, please punch Teddy Bluger in the head for me.
I don't even know. I'm not going to go looking up the stat. Well, I guess I could if I really felt like it. I don't remember him setting foot on the ice in the third period.
Well, as well he shouldn't. least Festa got some brains.
School? I never went to school. Look how I turned out.
Nuts with his favorites. Patrick Nemeth, the 16 seconds of love that he got last night. Why play him at all?
I didn't understand that. And, so you get halfway through the second period, and Nemeth still hasn't seen the ice. Okay, so why is he dressed? This was the mad genius, the absent-minded professor. This was whatever you want to call him. This was Flubber's big idea. I'm going to dress 7 defensemen, but I'm not going to play one of them. Okay, and there was a school that thought that he was there in case something happened to Lindgren. Okay, if you're that worried about Lindgren, should Lindgren even be in the lineup? I mean, if you're that worried about him, you're either worried. I mean, everybody gets hurt. I didn't get it. So who's there? So who's there in case Mika gets hurt, or who's there in case Panarin gets hurt, or Filipino, or Capo Caco? Who's covering their ass?
It's either shit or get off the pot. You're either full in, and then, like I was telling Jim before the show, Lindgren misses a spell. Where's Nemeth? He didn't came in to replace him.
16 seconds of ice time, Patrick Nemeth. So, I really don't understand a lot of what's gone on with this coach in this series. I just don't.
I mean, I'm happy that they won. I know we're starting on a negative note, but we're going to keep it.
We'll get there.
What?
We'll get there.
We'll get there.
We're covering the first half of the game. That's all.
And Jim, in the pre-show meeting, brought up a great point.
In the green room with our catered dinner.
Oh, yes, and our assistants. He brought up the best point of all. When did the tide turn? When Sidney Crosby got hit by Jacob Trouba.
Right.
That's when the tide turned. Everything became different.
Right. The Penguins were lost. What's up, Murph? The Penguins were lost for a few minutes and, kind of discombobulated without their captain, as any team would be if you had a captain. And the Rangers took advantage. They scored 3 goals in a span of 2.5 minutes and went from being dead to being in the lead. And as the Penguins have done almost after every Ranger goal this series, they came right back and scored and tied the game. But, I mean, heart of hearts, I have a hard time finding a way that they win tomorrow night if Sidney Crosby plays and is effective. And that's just being honest. That's just being honest.
I didn't see the Rangers, the type of hockey that got the Rangers here. I have not seen in this series. Maybe game 1 early.
Get open the window.
I haven't seen that. They haven't buttoned up anything. But once Crosby went out, and I think Jonathan Riggs mentioned it, then the refs also kind of changed the way they're going to call the game. It was twofold.
Right.
Yeah. So, I first of all, going back to the bag skating bit, the playoffs are long enough. Say the Rangers squeak this out, and they win it in 7. You want to put more extra fatigue on them by making a bag skate and be in between playoff games? It's a stupid move. I am glad they won, but I have no faith in this coach at this juncture. He's got the hot flashes, Jim.
It's 70. It was nice today, but the house is hot, and I didn't have the window open.
Are you on the second floor or first floor?
I'm on the bottom floor.
I'm on the second floor. That's why my air purifier / fan is behind me. So hey, listen, I was pleased as punch that the Rangers won, but I fear playing in Pittsburgh. Shesterkin doesn't look fully recovered. He's still kind of, he shoots the puck, tries to, and during the regular season, every time he would pass the puck, it was golden. Now he goes out and he's hitting the other team, and it's turning into a goal.
I think he's tired.
You think he's tired?
I think he's tired. He's already played 7 games in this series. I mean, take away the period. What was it? 2 periods he's been pulled. He's still played the equivalent of 6 games already in this series.
I think he's got the yips.
Maybe a little bit of that too. I don't know. But everybody's got to play better tomorrow. Everybody. Igor's got to put the earplugs in, put the hairband on, put it over his ears.
Yeah.
I don't know. The fans are. He thought it was loud in Game 4. It's going to be twice as loud tomorrow night.
It could be their last game, Pittsburgh at home.
Right.
So they're going to be fired up. They're going to come with the Igor chant. And we'll get to all the players who have shown up and haven't too for the Rangers. I mean, somebody cover Jake Gensel. He's got 7 goals in this series. For crying out loud, this is what's that guy? The fucking John Drews territory we're in now.
Right.
Give it a break.
Or who's the guy from Ottawa? Pajot?
A.G. Pajot.
Yeah.
Jay, get the hell out of here, you bum Pajot. Maybe for show horses might work. He's got to come on, man. We need Shesterkin back. We need Sidney to be fucking out for the series. So I'm saying he sucks too, by the way. He's fucking dominating us. But I'm glad Trouba deserves attaboy there for taking him out, scoring that goal. Fantastic backhand. That's what they got to do. I feel like Fox he could score on that dope, the Ming, every time when he comes in from the point. He starts moving in, but then he'll pass. It's like, just shoot. Pick glove side high and shoot. You're going to score every time. And it doesn't help that a lot of the Rangers shots get blocked. They block an enormous amount of shots, Pittsburgh. They got to figure it out. Mika's got to figure it out. He was a nothing in that game last night.
It's been mostly. I mean, that's most of the series.
Yeah. Let's figure it out.
I can't get all worked up because Mika Zibanejad has 3 assists. Sorry.
Oh, really? So he's got 3 assists. It's not like he's not pitching in.
I can't get all excited
point a game
about his 3 assists.
Who came at you with that dummy retort?
No, I'm just stating a fact. That's his numbers. He's got 3 assists.
But I mean, like somebody saying, "Oh, well, he's got 3 assists, so he's not disappeared."
No, not really.
Sean's right. Win a damn face-off. Let's bring, like Jim said, let's bring back that linesman we had in preseason back.
Right.
Get a bag skate, practice face-off.
Pierre Rassico? Is that his name?
Yeah. Not bag skating, then bring in Messier, bring in somebody.
Vetrano's been the only consistent one on the first line because all he does is shoot. All he does is shoot the puck. We've been clamoring for a guy like Vetrano for 10 years, if not more. All he does is shoot the puck.
And the thing with Kreider, and I'm not getting on. I know everybody's on Kreider a little bit now, but because they block a lot of shots, where Kreider gets his goals, they don't happen. And
plus, don't forget, with all the penalties the Rangers have taken in this series, Chris Kreider spends a lot of time killing a penalty.
Also, I will blame Kreider. That 4-on-1 that he shot, who shoots on a 4-on-1? I'm sorry, you got 3 options out there. Anything could happen.
I know, and they took the dead-on shot
by a guy.
The team loves to pass. I mean, this team loves to pass more than the fucking Hoosiers.
Right.
That movie. And in that opportunity, they just shoot from point blank range. I didn't.
Yeah, I mean, this was Kreider's MO before he became a superstar.
Right.
Like the dumb shot that goes right and he does nothing. He's great in front of that. I don't really trust him on breakaways or shots, although he scored a breakaway, I think a short-handed breakaway in the series.
It was a 2-on-1.
2-on-1. Okay, so now you got a 4-on-1. Now, if the Rangers blow it on their own accord by passing too much, I probably can forgive them, whether they just shot right into the freaking Louis Domingo Republican there, the Dominican Republican guy, and then the face-off, nothing. You lose. How many times do you get a 4-on-1 in the playoffs?
By the way, Louis Domingue, once again with a save percentage under 900 last night.
Oh, what a story, Joe.
All you got to do is take shots on this guy. The puck's going in the net. Just keep taking shots. I don't know why this is so hard to figure out. I still can't figure out how this team could only muster 20 shots on goal in Game 4. I feel like we're being too negative. Are we being too negative after a win?
Calling as we see it. The Rangers win deservingly. They play well. I mean, I'm taking the win. I don't have to like the win. I'm taking it. I mean, I like the win, I guess, in some sense, but I want to see this team is much better than this, the Rangers. This is crap. This is disgusting. They come out in that first period like that. It's ridiculous. It's beyond imagination. I'm saying to myself, you know what? We did that thing in the offseason where the worst things in Ranger history. I was saying we're going to have to put this one up. It's going to be number 2 and number 1.
Where does this one fit in, right?
I mean, you were saying it was just like the Tampa series. The Game 7 no-show.
It was reminiscent. And then they made it 2-1, and the first thing, all I could think about was, well, thank God we're not going to get shut out at home in the end to end this series. And then 20 seconds, 30 seconds later, it's 2-2. And I'm like, oh, look at this. We're alive.
Then it was 3-2, and how quick was it 3-3?
13 seconds.
Why?
13 seconds.
Why the fuck am I Sabbath? I'm subject to this every year after year. Before the announcer can announce the goal, the other team puts it in the net.
Joe Tollison announced 3 goals all at once. 2 Ranger goals and 1 Penguins goal. That's how far behind. That's how fast everything happened. And I love the tone change when that happens. That's the only thing I find funny about it. Because, it's all Rangers goal, number 23, Adam Fox. Penguins goal scored by number 59, Jake Gensel. At time of the goal, 10 minutes, 15 seconds. Right. It's just funny, the tone change.
Oh, Joe, they don't have Brian Dumoulin. Oh, Joe.
Jeff, we were all Jeff. Come on, there isn't a Ranger fan, an honest Ranger fan, who isn't going to tell you they were hoping that they weren't hoping neither one of them would get up.
Oh, Joe. Look, Malkin. Oh no. Oh no, Malkin might be hurt. Oh no. Oh yes. Caught him off to the ER. Get that big goof off the ice. You've been in the country 40 years, 17 years you play in this league. You can't even speak English. Get the fuck out of here. Hey, Rangers won, by the way. Oh, Joe Catrone, I got a beef with you. Stop. Just stop. With the Keandre Miller, it's got to be a forward. Stop. Joe Catrone, I got a beef with you.
Whoops.
Stop.
Sorry.
You're hearing my stops from.
Yeah, well, I had to refresh the chat window page.
The guy's a +3. He's played 25 minutes. He's averaging like 25 minutes on the ice a game, and you want to make him a forward. Phenomenal. I love you too, Joe. You and Mario are two of my favorites, and you drive me nuts. You're like my relatives.
Uncle Giuseppe and cousin Mario.
Yeah, Uncle Giuseppe.
Eddie hates Malcolm more than he hates some sailing Garden Dreams kid.
Well, take a pill, Joe. Dr. B will hook you up if he makes you nervous. Again, everybody goes after this guy. Meanwhile, the guardian angel there, not the guardian angel, what am I thinking? The golden boy, Adam Fox, gets caught up ice. Brayden Schneider has not looked good, but I don't really expect him to be a shining star. First of all, he's usually hooked up with Patrick Nemeth, who's an albatross around his neck. And, you know, he's young. I can... Here
we go.
He's not even that young. He's 2 years younger than fucking Kevin Miller. Keandre Miller. I mean, come on. All right, Joe. All right, Giuseppe. Come to the dinner table. Have some ravioli with us. So, a lot of things are aggravating me. And I'm also supposed to do an act of contrition because Filipino got a goal. There was some botched play, and he just turned around and shot. He's the Game 5 Mark Messier now.
I don't think you know by now. In fairness, you know by now that when you and I come on here and call out a player, that the minute that player does something good, they come right after us. They attack us like flies on shit. Every time Brian Boyle scores a goal, I hear about it. Every time.
But this time it was the source, was the lovely, the enchanting Kate Johnner, who I love like a sister.
The women folk are coming after you.
Everybody. Apparently everything I say is
the Sizzrin.
I mean, here's a woman I respect in and out of the forays of hockey. I respect her drinking prowess. So I'll call up Mika. It's been a bad or whatever you guys are calling him nowadays. He's a nothing. He's a nothing right now.
Invisibad.
Never seen a guy. I mean, I don't think Rick Nash played this bad. Like Costa's messaging me. How's he messaging me? I thought he was kicked off Facebook. He says, "Breaking news. Give me the news." From Costa.
If this is wrestling related,
no,
he's banned.
All news, all the time. This is 1010 Wins. You give us 22 minutes. We'll give you the world.
Ladies and gentlemen, according to Costa the Crazy Greek, a.k.a. Gus, a.k.a. Mr. Salty, he says, El Cid may be concussed.
That's his breaking news? Oh, for fuck's sake. I read that 8 hours ago, and I just hadn't gotten around to talking about it yet. He was being evaluated this morning, they said, for a concussion. That's his breaking news?
He felt he had to message me with that breaking news.
Ask him if he heard Nixon resigned. It was just on the radio.
Nixon resigns in disgrace.
God.
Oh, God. God bless him.
From Dallas, Texas, shots fired at the presidential motorcade. This is Walter Cronkite.
Oh, boy. I'll tell you. He never... you had to see that drive-in yesterday with him. Oh, boy. The volume level is like at 10,000.
So he rode with you to this wrestling thing you went to. I saw you guys with your signs. I don't know what any of that stuff means, so I don't watch.
Moved on.
What's that?
Just like the photo, moved on. I didn't know.
Pretty much. I'm like, hey, it's great. They were out, had a good time. Anytime people are out in public now, I like it. I'm good with that. Go do it. You do you, as they say.
Because like half the time I was just glued to my phone watching the Rangers score to see if it changed. But this just in, Tyler Mott is skating.
Tyler Mott is a possibility tomorrow night, according to sources.
Sources? Well,
Vince Mercogliano from NorthJersey.com.
Okay.
One of like the 3 beat writers left for this team. So
I will take him over Ryan Reeves any day. I don't care if he's been out for 6 months. I take Sammy Blay
on a gimpy knee.
Slamming Sammy Blay.
Yeah, you ever see people that hurt their knee and they have those little scooters that they just kneel on and wheel through to? Yeah. Can't we put skates on one of those and Sammy Blay could play?
Maybe.
He can't be any. It couldn't be any slower on that thing than Ryan Reeves is.
Well, put bags on his skates. See how fast he is.
All right, bring on the Motts. I would love to see Tyler Mott in the lineup tomorrow night. Would love it.
One of the guys played like 50.
It would be the most inspirational thing since Willis Reed.
Oh, come on.
Be like it would be the equivalent of Kurt Schilling in the bloody sock.
The bloody sock.
Yes, it would be
like
that
Ryan,
kind of courage.
When Ryan McDonough had that broken ankle and squeezed his feet into the skate boot.
We'd have to get Marv Albert to make the call as Tyler Mott comes out on the ice tomorrow night in Pittsburgh.
Definitely got to have something. It's that fourth line. I mean, I thought Rooney played a pretty good game last night.
Yep. Yeah, let's circle back.
Okay.
Sid. Did you see when he got hit from a sniper, as Valaket said, from the Chase Bridge and goes down after the face-off?
Oh, of course.
What a fucking phony he is.
The fraud.
And, I said to Jen, I said, that's why. I said, doesn't it seem weird to you that this guy is like generational talent and has put up all these records? He's going to go to the Hall of Fame, and you never see him in commercials. You never see him like anywhere. This guy's a horrible ambassador for the game. Horrible ambassador for the game.
He's a shill. He's a phony, like you said. He's a fraud.
And even Sam said last night, and this is putting it about as diplomatically as you can, nobody works the referees better than Sidney Crosby. How about nobody fucking cries to the referees more than Sidney Crosby?
Can you think of any more? I'm trying to think. A superstar, a Hall of Fame superstar is more hated than this fucking idiot. League-wide. Not just us. He pulls this.
Not with this kind of talent. I can't think of one in any sport. I mean, I don't know enough about basketball to give you maybe these bozos that just collapsed for the Nets. Maybe these guys. But I can't think of a guy in any sport who was this hated. I mean, even the exposed cheaters in baseball probably don't get as much, just as disliked as this guy. What's up, Rock? LeBron?
Yeah.
I know a lot of people do. Yeah, maybe.
I'm not that close to basketball.
But okay, maybe a lot of people don't like LeBron, but he's still the face of the league because I see him everywhere. I see him on an awful lot of commercials. Okay, Tom Brady, I'll give you that too. But Tom Brady is everywhere on commercials. He's everywhere. He's Subway and the cryptocurrency and something else these commercials for. Chris Benoit's more beloved than Crosby. I just, this guy, he's not marketable because he's just.
Look at him.
He's just a huge bitch. And the rest of the league knows it. And I mean, they don't market this guy at all. I mean, I see commercials with Connor McDavid, and he doesn't even play in this country. Steve Traxler was beloved by Murph. He's one of Murph's favorite all-time Mets.
So, well, I mean, you will see.
Alec, I'll give you a point. Alex Ovechkin. I see Alex Ovechkin in commercials with his wife, and they can't even speak English all that well, and they're doing commercials.
I like those commercials, by the way.
Yeah, they're what is it, insurance or something?
Yeah, something like that. He's on the couch with, I think,
I guess it's not an effective commercial if we don't know what it's for, right?
I guess. Wow.
But at least we know it's him.
The human rain delay.
The human rain delay. Yes, Danielle, we were making fun of Crosby.
Well, you know what, though, Jim? Honestly, if you get away with it year for year after year and it gets you cups, why wouldn't you do the fake shit? Why wouldn't you do the Zapruder film shit? Flop it. They do it in soccer all the time with these flops.
It's not a sport.
He said, you know what it is? It's not a sport.
George Carlin said it's not a sport because there are dots on the ball. Any sport with dots on the ball can't be a sport.
All right. He said a lot of wise things back in the day.
He also said hockey is not a sport. It's 3 sports: figure skating, boxing, and beating the shit out of somebody. Or I forget what it was now, his hockey analogy.
Oh, Joe.
Anyway.
He's hurt. If he just joined us, Sidney Crosby is out 1,000 times.
Oh, you mean during the game last night?
Oh, yeah, 1,000 times. Those 2 dopes. I feel like Micheletti has been much more edgier in these playoffs.
Maybe he's retiring, and maybe he's just going out. Like Johnny Carson the last few months after he announced he was going out, he didn't give a fuck what he said and to who he said it. Maybe that's it, boy. If that's it, this would be. I won't. That would be wonderful if he retires, because then they could shove Sam out the door too. Not going to match Sam up with another partner.
Well, I feel like he feels the end was near last night and the night before. So now he's got another year under his belt. So you can say a couple things in the playoffs, and Dolan will forget all about it during the offseason, and his contract will still. I wish I had this kind of hard hitting stuff during the regular season. He's still go with that curly Q on the top of his head now. What is that going on? It's like,
oh, I don't know.
He's got a lot of problems.
He's got a bad eye job. He's got a pasty skin. The guy looks like he needs like a couple of days in Bermuda or a tanning lamp or something.
Do you like his face?
He needs one of those. He needs one of those big tinfoil things to sit out like Curly Walnuts.
That's funny.
He's just so pasty, and his hair is jet black. It's unnatural. They're both. Never mind.
Oh yeah, we got more. We got more important fish to fry. So let's talk about the comeback. Listen, they hung in there. I mean, but I just don't see the play that. I don't know. We need Shesterka to play lights out tomorrow night,
right?
And we need the.
We have not seen him lights out in this series,
right? We also need to see the Rangers get 40 shots on net. They can't keep with the 20-odd shots, 24, 22. It's unacceptable.
They get 40 shots on goal tomorrow night. 5 of them will go in. This guy's not good.
He's terrible.
He's not good. He's not good.
He always the story of the league, Joe, with that .890 save percentage.
Right.
Give it a fucking break. This team is so frustrating to watch. I got to tell you, man. Just when you think you're out, they suck you right in. And this is after a win. So I got to go through this aggravation. And that first line has got to play better. It's the first line, God damn it. I feel like the Penguins kind of really tighten it up against the first 2 lines, and then maybe they don't have the depth to execute on the third line. That's why the third line has been great. Lafreniere, let's give a round of applause for Alex Lafreniere. Let's give a round of applause for Filipino and Capo Caco. I think they played really good. If we had the other 2 teams firing on all cylinders, we'd be a fucking juggernaut. But we don't. So I've been very impressed with those guys. But Jim, what do you think? People are clamoring for them to play more minutes. Do you think it's going to happen?
I don't. What Lafreniere was getting double shifted last night. I think.
What a waste! Put him on that fourth line is a waste.
Yeah.
Unless you got Tyler Mott, then of course I don't know how it's going to work.
Right. I just think the third line, as predicted, by the way, in our playoff preview show, the third line has been their best line, as predicted on this broadcast.
Sometimes we're right. Sometimes we're going to be shit.
And we did say that Alexei Lafreniere he was the guy we expected to be the standout. We were right both times. So I don't know what they're telling you on Blue Shirts Breakaway when they bounce the advanced stats off you, that bantering the Blue Shirts or the Blue Seat podcast or whatever else they got out there. I don't know what they're telling you. We give it to you. We give it to you straight here.
It's true.
Louis Domingue's save percentage, by the way, in the playoffs. These playoffs.
I said
900. 900.
I was 10%.
Igor, as bad as Igor's been, still better than Domingue. Still better than Domingue. 905. Domingue's goals against is better, but not by much. Less than a half a goal. Domingue is not good. Get 40 shots on him. Get 35, 40 shots on him, and you're going to have 4 or 5 goals. That's it. He's going to let in 1 out of every 10. Those are his numbers.
Oh, how dare you. Blue Shirts banter guys are annoying, but they had one hell of a view. Well, you didn't show up to our last one. You faked some injury. So, I'm not talking to you. Nobody's better than us. How dare you.
I didn't even know they had a viewing party.
Yeah. Well, I'll talk to you next time, and you tell me why it was better. Not on this show. You cheated on me, and Jim, how dare you?
Right.
And I don't blame you. Go wherever you want.
Betrayal.
A betrayal of the heart. Are we singing a different tune if Kako's goal counted? Kako's goal shouldn't have counted. He initiated contact. I don't want to go back to the. We got to move on, folks. The Rangers stink. They haven't deserved one game. Maybe the triple overtime game, maybe. And they won a couple of the games, yeah. I mean, maybe I'll retract
it. Has basically told us I think we should see other viewing parties. I think we should date other podcasts.
Wow, we're getting in the friend zone now.
Next she's going to tell us it's not us, it's her.
I'm with you, Bedmuller. Let's just win game 6. Just shut those idiots up. Now, let me ask you a question. This has something to do, Jim. I need your opinion in the great chat room. I mean, for sure, possibly Blue Shirt Banter will have a better answer to this question. Is that who the viewing party was at?
No, I think that was Blue Shirt's Breakaway.
No, how many Blue Shirt BSBs are there?
At least I could give you at least 3. There's Blue Shirts Breakaway, Bantering the Blue Shirts, and Blue Sea Blogs has their own podcast too now. Oh. Former friend of the show, Dave Shapiro, who no longer acknowledges us.
I like Dave. He's a young kid.
Not anymore.
What?
Not anymore.
Oh, he doesn't acknowledge us?
No, he's not a young kid anymore.
Oh. I don't care how young he is. If he don't acknowledge us, then I'm going to have to have a sit down with you and decide how we're going to approach this war. Blue Shirt Barbecue. Adam doesn't like Shapiro either. All right, all right.
I'm too old for wars. We do what we do. They do what they do.
All right, here's my question.
Go ahead.
He was raised by the great Darwin Bushman. He was talking about the effects of this playoff series, the highs and lows that are affecting him emotionally. No, really, this is serious.
I believe it. He's a psychiatrist. Doesn't he know how to control it?
Come on. Psychiatrists are the crazy.
Physician heal thyself.
Dude, psychiatrists and Dr. B, I mean, they're the most twisted, crazy fuckers you ever want to meet. They're doing shit that you only could see on the dark web. They are fucking nuts. I knew a psychologist. This guy had, when he was a kid, he was tortured by his parents. I can't believe I'm going in there. He was tortured by his parents. When he was bad, they would put mustard on him, like hot mustard.
Okay.
And it would burn. This is how
Right.
he abused the kid. I know these two psychologists. They're man and their wife, husband and wife. And just to fuck around with him, they would bring him like a bottle of golden mustard, put it on the table and see how he would react. Oh, that was funny. I'm like, what? The guy would freak out. He'd go with the panic attack. They're nuts. All right. So Dr. B was waxing that he takes these games seriously, and it affects his day, the following day. He told his girlfriend to vamoose because he was all upset during the game. He said, out of here. Yeah, this is true.
Go back to class.
Go back to class.
Go back to class.
Before your truant officer catches you. That's fucking Dr. B.
Just kidding, Dr. B. We love you.
We love it. So, and some guy's like, get over it. This isn't real life. I got enough stuff to worry about. How do you respond to that? Somebody who says that to a guy who's affected. Is it a get over it moment, or is it like, I think we should understand that
I think there he is, Dr. B. No, I understand it. I tell this story all the time. I've probably told it on the show, but 1994, Game 7 against the Devils. Zelepukin scored the goal, and I completely lost my shit. I was throwing stuff around the house. I broke a screen door, and my ex-wife uttered the words that no sports fan in that moment ever wants to hear. It's just a game. And I went off on her. I said, this isn't just a fucking game. I said, I don't want to hear that it's just a game. It's not just a game. It's more than that. And to me, personally, in that moment, it was. It wasn't just a game.
it was everything.
Exactly. It's everything.
It's not a problem because I'm going to tell you, we are so, and I obviously, if you're in this chat room now, you are invested both emotionally, psychologically invested in this team. There are certain times in your life that when you're an extreme sports fan, which we are extreme Ranger fans, all my life, I associate things in my life with how the Rangers were doing at the time,
right?
Or significant wins where, oh, I know where I was at that time of my life. And
right.
It's intertwined with your whole being.
Right.
I mean, I know it's irrational to the other people, but it's rational to my people.
Right. It's, I'm sorry, this is this is the life I chose. And you either accept that of me or you don't. And, yes, in context, it is just a game. But in those moments, in that fury, in that rage, that's the last thing you want to hear. That is akin to telling a woman who's upset or angry to relax. It's the same thing. It has the same effect. Telling me it's just a game in that moment, not having it. I'm not having it.
And I just don't want to hear that, they don't pay my bills. Why am I upset? Why are you even commenting on somebody who is saying, like Dr. B was coming out and saying, I'm a psychiatrist and it still affects me because you're human. You're human first. They since I was 10 years old, they've been a part of my life.
Right.
So that's 47 years I've been following this shit.
Right. I don't know any other way to do it but be all in. And that goes for the Rangers, that goes for the Giants. and to a certain extent, the Mets. I don't live and die with every Mets game. There's 162 of them. So, no, I don't, the shit's not flying if the Mets, lose a game in the middle of June to the Nationals or something. But come playoff time, yeah, it's nervous. It's excruciating. But it's the life I chose. There's no backing off. It's not going to happen. The Giants have been terrible for 5 years, and I'm still in front of the TV every Sunday, and I'm still screaming at them. And yeah, it ruins my fucking Sunday when they lose because there's only 16 or 17 opportunities.
Right.
And Jen accepts it, thankfully, and she'll be like, we'll sit down to dinner when the game's over, and I'll just be sitting there and I'm eating, and she'll just look at the girls and go, "He's in a bad mood. The Giants lost today." And I'm like, "I'm not in a bad mood." She's like, "Yeah, you are."
Well, it's just like I know some of the fans that weren't around for '94. I think most of them here were. I know guys that watched every fucking Ranger game that ever was played. I'm talking about New Year's night against Buffalo. They're sitting there, they're losing their shit. They're going late to weddings. They're going this and that. They're so much. When that 94 game, that game 7, one of my best friends, Rich, who's watched I watched so many games of this guy. He couldn't watch the game. He took a drive. He drove like all the way to fucking Montauk Point and back because he couldn't take the nerves were so high he couldn't watch. And that's just the way it is, man. Like Tim said, that's our lot in life.
Right.
He knows it. And there's nothing wrong with us for being human. I know it doesn't make sense in the grand scheme of the world, but this is a part of my childhood. This is part of before I was married. This is a part of after I was married. I mean, this is just, and all through my life, I've kind of associated events and games with things that happen in my life. So it's part of me, part of
right. And for me, it's, it's been, I think I said the other night, since I'm 7 or 8 years old, this is, the Rangers have been, such a big part of my life and going to the games. And I got, and I know you feel the same way. And I know there's some other people that spent their childhood going to Madison Square Garden. I learned how to be a sports fan at Madison Square Garden. And it came up just last night, because I remember, and I think I've mentioned this guy before on the show. He was a Blue Seat season ticket holder. The guy's name was Mike Arose. I'm not sure if I'm saying his last name right. It was Orozz, and he was actually interviewed in a Sports Illustrated article about the Rangers. And I believe he was a season ticket holder who was either kicked out or they just stopped renewing his tickets. But anyway, I happened to meet this guy once sitting up in the blue seats, and this guy to me was like, I was like 17 or 18 when I first met this guy. This guy was like a god to me. He stood the entire game in the blue seats, and he wasn't at the top of the blue seats. He was in the middle, and he didn't care. He stood the entire game, and he led the chants, and he led the derisive chants, the good chants, and it was just, I just got an education watching this guy, and this suddenly feels like Dr. Phil. Okay. All right. But and last night, third period starts, and game's tied, and I was standing, and we were out on the patio watching the game because the weather was nice. We set up TV out there, and I'm standing, right? And then the Rangers scored. So now I'm like, I can't sit down. The Rangers scored. They're in the lead. I can't sit down. So I stood for the entire third period, and all I could think of was that somewhere, if Micah Rose knew that he was the inspiration for that, and maybe that would make him smile wherever he is. So. But yeah, it's the life we've chosen. I wouldn't have it any other way.
I don't think there's anything wrong. I think there's something wrong with you paying $2K for Game 7, though. Man, you got a lot of cash there, Dr. B.
If you got it, you want to go to games. But
I think I would be too nervous to go to the game.
God bless you. All I know is that we briefly considered driving to Pittsburgh for Game 3. because the tickets were not expensive. They're comparatively speaking.
Those.
It was a 4-hour drive, and then by the time the game was over, I'm like, you know what? I'm like, not only just because they lost, like I'm so glad we didn't go to this game. I said because I just wouldn't have been able to handle it. The fucking air horn, the fans, the ego. I would have had a nervous breakdown.
I would have gotten a fight.
Those fans would have driven me to insanity.
Because I told you I can't control what I say now. I just say it.
Right.
And I was at the wrestling event last night. Please don't think less of me. But I was at the wrestling event, and of course it's at the You Beat Us Arena. And I'm behind this guy behind me is a total douchebag, incel, loser, whatever they call him. I don't know. So they call the generation nowadays? And where's Costa when you need him? Generation Z or whatever they fucking call themselves.
Is the Hulkster there?
No, he was not there. But
no
they're behind me, and the guy, of course, is an Islander fan. He's like, because there were a couple Ranger fans there with the jerseys and everything. And when the Rangers went up, there was a "Let's Go Rangers" chant. So I was like, "Oh my God, something must have happened." So I checked my phone, and then the Rangers went ahead 3-2.
That's awesome. When the Rangers interfere with other things, I always like that.
Oh yeah, it was. You know, I wish I was watching live, but I'll just take you into the wrestling world just for a second. There's this one wrestler who banks his whole villain character on being from Long Island. He calls it the most magical place in the world, and people hate it because it gets such a rise every time. But when he plays Long Island, everybody's like all Long Island in.
Right. So
his main opponent comes in wearing an Islander jersey. So I'm saying, why would this opponent, the guy that said, he has a rivalry with wearing an Islander jersey? He turns around, it's a Tavares jersey. Oh, the crowd starts booing him. It was great.
That's funny.
Used them. Yes.
I saw a picture of it on Facebook. I said, that's nothing compared to the way Lou Lamoriello's trolling the Islanders lately.
So he also makes no, actually, it was another tag team came in and did a rap about Barry Trotz leaving, and it was just like, I loved it because they were insulting the Islanders right in their own home, and it was great. So anyway, that was an aside, but there were Ranger fans there, and I wanted to punch this guy behind me because again, all they have is us. They don't have anything else. Now all their powers, they must have been crying last night. They thought it was over. Now they got to watch one more game and hope and pray that the Rangers lose.
So Joe Catroni's here. He would like to join us on screen.
Hey, Mr. Keandre Miller, Giuseppe.
Well, I guess I'll bring him on, and then I want to ask, how much pressure do you think is on the Penguins to win tomorrow night? Good evening, Joe.
What's up, fellas?
How much pressure do you think is on Pittsburgh to finish this tomorrow night?
Oh, there's a lot. There's more pressure, way more pressure on Pittsburgh than there are on the Rangers. This is, I mean, they got to win at home, or else they probably figure they're not going to win Game 7 at the Garden.
But I mean, they've already won a game at the Garden, so it's not like they can't do it.
Oh, they can't. Definitely not. But going into Game 7, they would have lost 2 straight.
What do you think, Eddie?
It's a different feeling.
I agree with Joe on this. I also think the memory of the Rangers coming back from that 3-1 deficit and winning the series also plays in the Penguins fans' head, probably more than the players.
I mean, there are some players left from that team that did that blew that lead.
And I think they fear if Sid doesn't play, I think they know that's a significant blow to their team. But as a team, they don't want to go back to the Garden. So there's more pressure on them.
Yeah, I mean, no team, whether they're going back home for a Game 7, wants to go to a Game 7, right? I mean, they always tell you in Game 7, you throw everything out the window, right? You throw out your regular season home record. You throw out, the goaltending. I mean, it's been a frustrating series for the Rangers fans, not because we feel, the Rangers have outplayed Pittsburgh, but we feel, game one was a tough one to swallow. And we were, at least in my opinion, games 3 and 4 were a fucking nightmare. The way that they started, and obviously game 4, the way it ended. But, I mean, listen, we've lived to see another day, right? You don't think the players feel the same way? They do. Of course they do. They're not going to sit there and tell the media, oh, wow. All right, well, this is good. We're on a game 6. They're gonna put their face on and say, yeah, we played well. We made a couple of mistakes, but we stuck together and we're on to Pittsburgh. That's the way it is. So I don't know. I don't, Crosby or no Crosby, Pittsburgh is going to be a tough out. Everybody in this conference is a tough out. I'm sure a lot of people thought Carolina was going to sweep Boston, right? And
yeah,
they're at game 6 now, right, in Boston. So tonight, right? By the way, I have to ask you guys. So you guys are around my age, give or take. Jim's a little younger, right? Are you guys still superstitious when you watch the game? Or did you just throw that out like a few years back?
No, did you hear the story I just told? Where I wouldn't sit down after I was standing up when the third period started, and then the Rangers scored, and I wouldn't sit down because I was afraid if I'd sat down, Pittsburgh would score.
So I'll ask you the next question. When you start thinking about the superstition and you start thinking about that you should stick with it, do you ever think, am I effing crazy? And just not do it, and then
absolutely.
But ever take the risk and not do it?
It's a dichotomy. You're absolutely crazy, but then the other side of my head says, well, what if you're not? I'll tell you how crazy I am. So we watched the game last night on the patio, right? Now, last week, it poured all weekend. We have a guy that comes and cuts our lawn. The guy comes today to cut the grass. I said to Jen, but now, what if cutting the grass had luck in it? I said, what if the overgrown lawn was what made the Rangers win last night? And I'm saying this to her with a straight face. And she looks back at me and she goes, oh my God, what if? Should we tell him to stop? And I'm like, well, it's halfway done now. I said, suppose he already cut the part that had the luck.
This would make a great Family Guy episode.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Oh, it's insane what goes through. Oh, it's absolutely insane what goes through my head.
This is reminiscent of leading up, I'm on Twitter, and that's the way I know what the hell's going on in the world, right? But there's so many young fans that we are now, open to, that we've been subjected to, right? Because growing up into the 80s and 90s, we were all it felt like everybody was our age, and we had some old timers hanging on and everything, but we were all like, we were all going through all this shit, having to deal with the Islanders first, and then after the Islanders, we had to deal with Pittsburgh and all this shit. And winning in '94 was something that, unless you were there and experienced it, it's really hard. It wasn't just a normal championship. It's the same thing with like the '86 Mets. The '86 Mets, that was not a normal team. It wasn't a normal championship, and it may be the most just incredible team that we may see in our lifetime, the '94 Rangers. Now, we've had our moments along the way, but leading up to the '94 Cup, we were psychotic. I mean, we would have to hear that 1940 crap. I mean, you go in a bar, it didn't matter where you lived, you'd have to deal with it. I'd go into a bar down here, and it was, the 3 Pittsburgh fans who overtook the big screen, and they had their little Stanley Cups and their Iron City beer cans and all this shit, and you're like, after '94 was a huge relief. But now that we're so many years past that, I start getting that feeling again, like that crazed feeling. And it's such a different feeling regular season. We're crazed to begin with, right? We wake up in the morning. The only difference between before '94 and now is you wake up in the morning and you're a little bit older. You don't live and die with that loss. Because I used to live and die with losses. Like, I would allow their losses to ruin my next day and go, okay, I can't wait till Wednesday so I can feel better.
Right.
And, like, even now I catch myself going, I can't even watch post games when they lose.
Oh, I never watch the post.
I can't watch them. No matter what.
Why would I watch the post game of a losing game? I never even watch the post game anyway.
Yeah.
I don't want to relive that misery.
Yeah. that's why I asked you the question, because we're superstitious people for the most part.
I'm not
we're sports
superstitious.
fans, so
I don't have a favorite place to stay. I don't really care where I watch the game. Superstition is outside factors. For instance, somebody knocking at my door during the game. Yeah. Get the hell out of here. Don't knock on my door. Don't call me. It's going to ruin the flow of my concentration, willing the Rangers to make the right moves, which is insanity because I have no control. But I think I do. I'm moving my legs. I'm trying to reach out to make but there's some insanity. But like you said, and more to your point too, nowadays, in the old days, we had like a group of friends, people you knew when we were younger. And there's always going to be some asshole Islander fan, asshole Flyer fan, whatever. Now we're older. We don't have as many friends we interact with on a daily basis as much. The circles aren't as tight. But now you have the internet, and you have the Facebook and the Twitter, and so you're bombarded, if you choose to take a deep dive in what the other people are saying. And you get that, what I call Ranger PTSD, where you're getting aggravated, and it's all building up again because it's been a long time since '94.
And it's funny, like as we're in our 50s, I see 20-somethings going through the same crap that I did, only there was no stage to announce our feelings.
Right. No platform.
Our feelings were the next morning in the Daily News and the New York Post, and and just sitting there going, okay, well, we got to take it. We can't express our frustrations, and we can't wait for the next game.
Who's throwing more things out of the three of us? What do you think?
Wait, what did you say?
I said, who's thrown more things?
I'm not a big thrower because I'm afraid I'll break a really expensive TV.
Jim is like the Steve Carlton of us three, I believe. He's throwing things all the time.
I have sent a few things flying at times.
What were you about to say before, Jim? You were looking to get in.
I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I know what it was. So last night, like I said, we watched the game out of the patio. So Avery was home. Of course, she's a Penguins fan. She had the boyfriend here. So I set up all these chairs. I set up the chairs. Jen and I have these nice chairs that we sit in out on the patio. So I set those up in front of the TV. I set up the little patio like love seat for them to sit on, and I put her Penguins towel over their seat, and I put the Ranger blanket. I put the Ranger blanket where the TV was. Avery was a little. Well, hold on. There's a reason. I have a reason.
All right.
Avery got a little upset at Game 4 because the Penguins were winning, and I was, my blood was boiling, and I was ranting, and I was saying some pretty nasty stuff about the Penguins. So as peace offering, future stepdaughter. So I put the Penguins towel out, right? I got the Rangers blanket, but the Rangers blanket is on the table with the TV on top of it. So you're always staring at the Ranger logo. So now I'm thinking. So now tomorrow, as the game ends last night, I said to Jen, I said, you're working tomorrow, Friday night. I said the girls won't be here. I said I'm going to be watching the game all alone. I said I got to do all this all over again on the patio and sit here by myself. I said I got to put the Penguins towel back on the
exact thing.
I got to do the exact same thing.
Same time when the sun's setting.
Because if I don't, they won't win. This is how my head works.
15 years later, I'm working
until I always say until it doesn't.
Right, it's completely Eddie. I know it's completely illogical. I know it has no bearing on what happens. But if I don't do it, they'll lose, Eddie.
It's a vicious.
2011, when the Rangers went to the playoffs and they beat Ottawa in the first round, then they beat the Caps. My ex-wife, first game of the season, first game of the playoffs, whatever. She made deviled eggs, which I wouldn't call them deviled eggs. I called them Ranger eggs. Well, the Rangers won the game. Well, every night she made me Ranger eggs to eat while I watched hockey. Can you imagine? You imagine how gaseous I must have been by the end of the playoffs? By the time the Devils eliminated them, if I didn't eat the eggs, they weren't going to win.
Until the Rangers lost, and she started making you scrambled eggs.
And then I don't think I ate. I don't think I ate deviled eggs for 5 years after that. I think I'd had my fill.
Yeah. It's a
I think at a certain age,
You would think.
You would think that you would realize, first of all, the Rangers lose more than they ever win, so all your things haven't really worked. Okay,
you could say that for every team, right? I mean,
yeah, I mean, most
99% of the time, your team's not going to win a championship,
right?
Eddie, we're in Sam's Club the other day. A guy walks by me in a Devil's jacket. As he walks by, I go like this, right? I go to Jen. I go, ask him what time their playoff game is. She looks at me. She goes,
"What are you, 7?
What are you, 5?" And I said,
"Yes, that I approve of.
Yes,
that I approve of."
I said, "Absolutely. I am 5 years old." And then we saw him again. They did it again.
And Patty Duke, the fact that you would come to my doorbell and ring it every game just to annoy me, to see me flip out. And no, and God, I love my dad, but he is a jinx. He's
the bush.
He's a total bush, and my friends noticed it over the years. Like he'd come back from where he was at night, and it'd be like 1-0 Rangers. Rangers are holding on tight. My dad walks to the door, score.
You ever hear the story of the guy who during the '94 finals, or it might have been through the whole playoffs, this kid, every time he went to the bathroom and stayed in the bathroom.
Oh yeah, I did.
The Rangers won.
Yeah.
They locked his ass in Game 7 in the bathroom. They never let him out. They wouldn't let him out. That poor bastard sat in Game 7 for 3 hours in the bathroom. Imagine.
Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes.
Whatever
it takes.
With the game, Jim.
I'd have locked my mother in the bathroom. I loved my mother. I'd have locked my mother in the bathroom if it meant winning a cup.
Oh, come on. Brian Leach had nothing to do with that Game 7. No, it was locking a kid in the bathroom.
Right.
Whatever it takes.
All right. Well, I learned something new about you today. You're very superstitious.
Yeah. This is a sports fan, though. You look at
if I thought it would win us the cup, I'd go get my mother's ashes and put them in the bathroom and lock the door.
Oh my God!
You got 55, 60-year-old.
My mother would understand. She was a Ranger fan. She went, "All right, Jimmy, put me in the bathroom if you think it'll help. Fine. All right for you."
Did they put mustard on that kid? They locked him. You might have missed. I'm telling you, that's a true story. I was like in shock. But anyway, so what's it going to take to beat the Penguins? No Sidney Crosby. Shesterkin's got to be golden.
Yeah,
got to play a team defense.
Usually on the road, I always say, you play as basic of a first 10 minutes of the first period as you can. You don't do anything. You don't make tricky little passes like Panarin and cough the puck up at their blue line and off they go. Get the puck, just take the crowd out. Okay. And that theory a lot of times works. I was at the Florida game last night, and that Florida was taking it to Washington a little bit, and Washington scores a goal, and then they score 2 more right off the bat in the second period. And that was 3-0. But, and they were on the road. They played a terrible road game after that. They played scared. They stopped hitting. They stopped getting the puck in deep. And they completely reversed what they had done in how they played against Florida aggressively. And the best defense is a good offense, right? They can't score if you got the puck. And Washington, after that, they just – so I think the Rangers got to go in there and just play kind of basic. And, if it's 0-0 after 1, that's a win. If they could get a lead, great. If they
got to get pucks deep.
Yeah.
They got to get pucks deep. They got to avoid the offsides. They got to be smart. They got to avoid the icings. They got to avoid faceoffs. Don't make unforced errors. And they got to get the puck deep and make the Penguins play the 200-foot game. If the Rangers don't get the puck deep, if they get too cute near the blue line, it's a recipe for disaster for them.
Yeah, there's a few things that contribute to a recipe for disaster on the road. One of them is taking penalties, and one of them is trying to get too cutesy. You can't play too cutesy. Panarin and Fox are culprits numbers 1 and 1A. They're too cutesy, and it drives me nuts. I'm like, just make the safer play and not get yourself caught deep. But
and they've got to be alert on defense. How many times in this series have the Penguins done that give and go where a guy comes across the blue line, dishes the puck off to somebody on the wing, heads straight for the net, and he's at the net all alone in front of Igor for the tuck-in goal. They've done it at least 4 times.
Yeah.
At least it's worked at least 4 times. They've probably done it at least 6 times.
Yeah, it works.
Crosby and Gensel are perfect at it.
Worked.
They've got to be on the
Adam Fox a couple of games ago where there was nowhere to be. I mean, he let them go behind him. It was bad news.
Yeah, they just got to be careful. They got to, no unforced errors.
They got to play a basic game. They don't have to jump out to a crazy. I mean, if it would be great if they could jump out to a 3-0 lead, but sometimes, like last night with Washington, that hurt them. If Washington was only up 1-0 going into the third, maybe they play a little differently. They didn't play a good second period, and then they paid for it. And then when the Avalanche started rolling, it never stopped. You could sense it, and it just. I was looking at the shots on goal, and it was just nonstop, one after another after another. At one point, Washington came out; they were up 9-3 in shots on goal, and from that point on, I think they had 3 shots on goal to Florida's 18. Like they just stopped playing the way they were doing it, and it wasn't because Florida was. All of a sudden flip the switch. It was what Washington was giving them. So on the road, you can't give them that stuff. Yeah, you got to win draws when you need to. You got to stay out of the box because you're just going to give them opportunities to get back in a game if they're down, or give them opportunities to take too big of a lead that you can't recover. And that's at least my recipe win on the road.
Stay out of the box, get 40 shots. You win the game. That's it.
Yeah.
That's what the Rangers got to get more shots. That's it.
For sure.
The goalie is not a good goalie.
Yeah. Has anybody found Zibanejad? Let me know. He's really been. He's struggling.
I feel like Panarin is playing very frustrated, and he's also frustrating to watch. But I at least see something from him. I don't see anything from Zibanejad.
Yeah, I haven't seen much from him at all. Really, I don't know what's going on with him.
Well, let's hope the great Brian Dumoulin doesn't come back for Pittsburgh.
And there's no word on Crosby, whether he's going to play.
Wow, this just in. From coast to the crazy Greek.
From 8 hours ago.
Yeah. He might have a concussion.
Right.
Well, that's being evaluated. That's the explanation as to what his upper body injury would be. It didn't look like he got hit in the shoulder that badly. It's not like he has bruised ribs. He came to the bench and he sat there, and he was kind of like a little, shaking out the cobwebs there. So, Gabrick.
According to what I saw this morning, he was being evaluated for a concussion. So who knows?
Well, the only thing I had seen on that Mike Sullivan said was that he was flying back to Pittsburgh, and I was like, okay, well, I don't know if that has any. I mean, if he had a severe concussion, how that would affect him, I don't know. If he could fly back so quickly, I don't know. I'm not a doctor. Dr. B.
Well, the Rangers dug themselves this hole. They got to dig themselves out of it.
They've done it before.
Yeah, they've done it before. So
they know.
Everybody sit in their right positions, have their blankets and their stuff all rearranged the right way, and we'll win.
Tell me it doesn't matter. It matters.
No, I'm not telling you. Whatever works for you, man, keeps you happy.
All right, boys.
All right, Joe. I'll talk to you later.
Right, have a good
Thanks.
Take
it easy.
All right. See ya.
Bye.
Well, there you go, Jim.
Hour and a half, almost.
We give it to the people, baby. The people that pay the bills.
So, looking ahead, what's your availability Saturday?
Saturday, I am no-go for Saturday.
You are no-go for Saturday. At any point in time?
I could do afternoon.
Like 3?
3 or
4?
Yeah, 3. 3's fine. 4's fine.
All right. It's nighttime. You're no good.
Yes.
All right. So why don't we hold? We'll give the same caveat that we gave the other night. Win tomorrow night. We'll be back here at Patreon at 4:00 Saturday afternoon.
That sounds good.
If it's a funeral, we'll be on YouTube.
Yes.
Obviously, we want to be back here with the Patreon group.
Maybe make it 3:00 if you can.
3:00. That's fine with me. Jen's working all weekend, so I'm kind of So when she's home, she'll be sleeping most of the time anyway. So there's not a lot going on here this weekend. All right. So hopefully, Patreon, our patrons, our undergrounders, we will see you 3 o'clock Saturday afternoon. If not, then we will see you on YouTube. See if we can hold Willie off for another day.
That's right.
All right. Thanks to everybody who showed up. We appreciate you guys. This was a lot of fun. And always a pleasure hanging out with you, my friend.
Always a pleasure too, Jim. Take care, baby.
All right. We'll see you guys Saturday, one way or the other. Let's go, Rangers. We love you. Thanks for your support. Let's go, Rangers. Let's go, Rangers.